to another video. This one's going to be focused around this 2017 Toyota Tacoma SR5. Now I'm filming this from this beautiful cemetery because mostly I like cemeteries, and I also wanted a quiet place to take a video. But I don't know if you can hear in the back, but the goons are out. It's a Saturday in August. You kind of got to expect it, but we'll make do. So a quick background on this thing. I bought this in April of 2018. It was a late year production 2017 Tacoma. Got it with basically brand new. I traded in, I had an old, not an old, but I had a 2011 Chevy Silverado 1500 that I traded in for this thing. And they gave me a good amount for it, so it knocked a bunch off. I mean, this was 2018, so it was pre, whatever happened in 2020. But so prices were lower. It wasn't as crazy as it is today, but it was still a decent amount. Yeah, I think out the door that was in for like 22,000 after the trade-in and everything. And now finally, within the next maybe month or two, I'll finally have this thing paid off, which I'm very excited about. I'm just under 75,000 miles on this thing. That's why I want to kind of make a long-term video. I mean, I know that's still pretty low miles for a truck like this. Toyotas they're known to go 200, 300,000 miles with very little upkeep and any kind of issues like that. And this thing's, so far, knock on wood, it's proven to be pretty goddamn reliable to this point. The big reasons why I traded in my Chevy for this thing is because I knew Toyota just has such a long-standing reputation for being tough, reliable, just almost bulletproof vehicles they make when it comes to their trucks and SUVs. As bad as it might sound, a big reason why I did buy this truck was because growing up, I saw so many videos of certain groups around the Middle East and South America that used a lot of Toyota pickup trucks. Not as much the third gen regular Tacomas, but their counterpart for overseas, which is the Helix or even the old Land Cruisers. I mean, it's not a Helix, obviously. It's not a second gen or first gen Toyota. It's not as rugged, but they did a pretty good job with the third gens. These things, Toyota trucks, they've just been put to the test. If they could deal with a battlefield, if they could deal with all sorts of just abuse and shit, then they could handle Stratford, Connecticut. They could handle drives across the country. They could handle miles. That's a big reason why I got this thing, because I knew it was going to be rugged and durable, and I wouldn't have to worry that much. Whereas the Chevy, the Silverado, it started giving me problems. It's a lot of stuff started breaking on it. Yeah, it just wasn't it. Fun truck, but I've had a lot more fun in this thing. This thing is proven to be reliable. I've taken it across country. I've taken it throughout the mountains in Colorado, off-roading, gone through the desert with this thing. It's never let me down so far, and yeah, I could not be happier with this thing. All right, let me give you a little walk around, show you what I've done to it, just kind of give a little tour. All right, we'll start front to back. Sorry about all the noise in the back, but just got to deal with it. All right, so I got the TRD Pro grill. I got that, I think last year or so. I put it on there. I wasn't a big fan of the stock grill. It was kind of cheesy, had like this fake chrome trim around it. Haven't done anything to the lights. I would like to get new fog lights. Now underneath I have RCI skid plates. These things are rock solid. I got them right before I went out to Colorado. I have the engine guard, the transmission guard, and the transfer case guard. And yeah, they are heavy as hell, but they definitely keep this thing protected. All right, moving along to the side. Now this is a SR5 model, so it came with 17-inch kind of like cast looking wheels, but I ended up buying these Toyota TRD 16-inch wheels from the dealer when I got it. I went with the 16s because I wanted to get a little meatier of a tire to put on there. I have the Yokohama Geolanders on it. I've run General Grabbers for probably over 10 years on my past trucks and everything. They discontinued the one I was originally running for all those years, and I didn't really want to switch to the newer one, so I ended up going with these because honestly a lot of people run these tires and they had great reviews. And I forgot when I put these on. It might have been around 45,000 miles, so they're starting to get down there. I mean, they're not as chunky as they were, but they definitely have some meat on them. But if I go on another cross-country trip next year, I might have to get another set of tires before I leave, but we'll see. And of course, 5% window tint all around. The back had, I think it had like 15 or 20s on them, like from the factory, so these are 5s over that, so it is super, super dark. It's a little tough to see at night. I mean, my vision isn't the best at night anyway, but it is what it is. It looks good, and I mean, it's got power windows. You just put the window down to look out if you got to. All right, moving on to the back. Now I replaced the chrome corner covers that are on the bumper with these black plastic ones. They look a little better, and it kind of goes with the whole blacked out look to the truck. These trucks have the assisted drop tailgate, which is nice. So I bought this mat to put down. This is a Toyota mat, bed mat. It's worth every penny. This thing takes a beating, and thankfully the bed is composite in this truck. It's not metal, so you don't have to worry about rust even after, you know, water does get stuck in this thing when the drain holes get all clogged up, but you don't have to worry about this thing rusting out, which is really nice. This swing case I added, it's aftermarket. I basically just keep like a small air compressor in there and tire gauge and just other random tools. It's locks in place. It's pretty nice, and it comes out pretty easy too. But yeah, as you can see, this bed has been used quite a lot. You know, this is my daily truck. This is my work truck. I use this for everything around the house. I can't even count how many yards of soil and mulch and gravel and just so much has been dumped in the back of this truck. I've had lumber, motorcycles, I've ripped up, you know, I have a massive driveway at my house, which I ripped up like half of it and disposed of all that asphalt in this truck only. I never got a dumpster, never got a dump truck, nothing. This truck has been used for absolutely everything at my house. It's held up amazing. Again, before I went out to Colorado, I did put a add leaf in the back, so I have another leaf spring to kind of stiffen it up. It raised it a little bit, but I was just going for more of a stiff suspension because this thing did sag a decent amount on the stock suspension when I would have it fully loaded. But now it's perfect. It sits nice and level. It could take pretty heavy loads in the back, so it's been good. But yeah, on top of the add leaf, I have new struts. I have new Bilstein coilovers that I put in the front. These things have been great. They've given me, again, a little bit of lift. I was not looking for lift at all. I just wanted something a little bit stiffer, especially since I was doing a lot of off-roading in Colorado. I didn't want to be bottoming out on everything, and I had a good amount of gear in the truck too, so I wanted to kind of make up for it. Oh, and also the couple 100 pounds of skid plate, I wanted to make sure this thing wasn't diving in the front every time I hit a bump. All right, coming back around, now we'll talk about the interior a little. Fair warning, it's not the cleanest. You know, like I said, this is my daily. I do a lot of work with this thing, so it's not spotless. But yeah, the cool thing about this extended cab is the doors open up. It's got the suicide door in the back that swings open on both sides. Very cool. You could fit a good amount of stuff back here. You know, it does have drop down seats for any extra passengers. It's obviously they won't have the most room. It won't be the most comfortable ride, but you could fit 4 people in this truck if you want. So that's a lot better than my old single cab Chevy. So let's see. Let me hop up in here. All right. So this is what I see every day. This is what you see in a 3rd gen Tacoma. Just under 75,000 miles. So I have Pro Clip phone mount, which is worth its weight in gold. I think it was a little pricey, but this thing is rock solid and probably the best phone mount I've ever had. Yeah, this is pretty much it. You know, it had this funky like stitching in the door panels, which was kind of cool for SR5, which I don't mind. Yeah, pretty basic. You know, it's not like a TRD off-road or anything with like crawl control and all that kind of shit. But or the big like navigation. But you know what, I don't need all the bells and whistles on this thing. So yeah, this thing, like I said, I've taken it across country. I've slept in this truck. I've taken it on mountain passes in Colorado. I've driven it through the desert. I've been all over in this thing. I've driven it on the beach in Rhode Island. It's a solid truck. If anyone ever asked me what the recommendations on a tough vehicle would be, it would be a 3rd gen Tacoma. Now, Toyota just came out with their 4th gen Tacomas, and not a big fan. Like, the new motor they're going to be using is some kind of hybrid diesel with like, I don't fucking know, like an 8-speed transmission or some shit like that. But whatever it is, it's too much. You know, they're starting to add a little too much, and I think that's going to take away from the reliability. You know, this motor, a lot of like diehard Toyota truck people kind of kill on it because it's not like the older motors that were in the 2nd gen and the 1st gen. This is basically the motor out of like a Camry or something. But you know what? Like I said, does the job. It's fine. You know, it's reliable. Camry's reliable. This thing's reliable. So, you know, you can't hate on it. As far as any issues go, the only problem I've had with this truck is, I forgot what mileage it was at. It was probably at like 50,000. It started making a clunk in the front end. Sometimes it's turning, sometimes it's going straight over a small bump. I've researched the hell out of this on forums. Everyone has this issue at some point. No one knows a solution. Everyone has these half-baked solutions. I've tried a bunch, nothing works. I've taken it to my mechanic, and he went over it with every guy in his shop over at Breezy Point in Stratford. They all went through it. They had guys laying down next to it as they would drive, trying to see what was making the noise, and they could not figure out what it was. They called Toyota, their Toyota guy at the dealer, and the guy from Toyota said, you know what? People have these 3rd gen trucks, they'll start getting that clunk at 80,000, 90,000. There's people with 1,000 miles on their truck, and they start getting this clunk. And even Toyota doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know what causes it. But, you know, my mechanic said it's nothing to be worried about. It doesn't seem like a safety issue. So it doesn't happen all the time. You know, it happens a little more in the colder months. But But I'm not too worried about it after hearing that. And you know what? Even if something does happen to this thing and something breaks, at least I'll know what it is. I'll be able to fix it at that point. But I'm not worried about it. That is the only issue I've ever had with this truck. This thing comes with a lifetime warranty on the motor and just the whole powertrain. So yeah, I just saved my receipts for my oil and everything, my filters. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, you know, I am a couple payments away from paying this thing off finally. You know, I get harassed by Toyota to trade this thing back in or sell it to them and all this shit, but to be honest, I think I'm gonna keep this for a very long time. I have no plans on getting into any kind of other car payment. You know, I'm sick of car payments, so I'm glad to actually get rid of this. But this truck will stay with me for a long time. You know, like I said, the 4th gens, the 4th gens I'm not a fan of. All the other trucks out there I'm not a fan of, to be honest. I mean, I don't know, this thing just ticks a box. It looks good, drives good, and yeah, that's all you really need. But that's about it. I don't want to ramble on too long. Yeah, I wanted to do this for a while. A friend of mine suggested I did a review on this truck. I have a couple ideas for other videos I'll be coming out with. Nothing too soon, to be honest. Maybe I'll throw in like a little short here and there, something stupid with the bikes or whatever. Or if I actually get out and camp again, I'll do more videos. But I know in November will mark 5 years at my house here in Stratford. So I might do like a little walk around, little tour. You know, a lot of people ask me a lot of questions about this place, and it would be cool to like actually show it off now that I've been there 5 years and have done a decent amount of work in there. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I hate saying that shit because it's corny, but please do that. Not that I'm trying to get 1 million views, but it's just cool to like have a channel and, I don't know, have people watch this kind of stupid shit. But thank you. See you in the next.